It's funny because those are the things that I tell myself when my kid does that, so that I don't hit them in front of everybody.
Which one? To breathe?
Mike, you need to breathe. Mike, you need to breathe. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. So all these mandated reporters are all looking. They're all looking at you. Yeah. How's he going to respond? How's he going to?
Yeah, I can't hit my kids in public. Yeah, because I'm black. They're gonna think I'm just beating my kids. Being able to make your kids in public, that's white privilege.
Hey, welcome to Not Offended Podcast. It's your boy Anthony Chicano. I got my guys, the Bishop, the Token. We're in the house. I'm just going to get it off my chest. I know we're supposed to talk about culture and its influence on the church, but I got to get something off my chest.
This is something cultural.
This is something cultural for sure.
With deep roots.
It hurts.
Deep,
it pains
dark,
me to say.
Deep, dark roots.
You know, can I just say, real quickly, y'all just sit tight. To all the ladies out there, if you're looking for a loyal man, if you're looking for a man who will not cheat on you, a man who will stay faithful, a man committed to excellence, a man who is willing to have long suffering, patience, a man who knows what it means to go through thick and thin and more thin through thick. If you're looking for a man who is like por vida, for life, you need to get you a Raider man. You need to get you.
You can go through a lot of thick with him.
A lot of thin. What you talking about? You gonna go through hell, boy. I just want you to
thin on the money, thick on the drama.
We let Max Crosby go.
Yeah, it's good on you guys for doing that. That's nice for him.
What? No. What do you mean?
Set him free.
Yeah.
Go enjoy life.
So is this one of those ones? Maybe it's not you, it's me. I gotta set you free. Is that what that is?
Let the bird fly.
I'm holding you back. Go be who God called you to be.
It's me, it's not you.
I know you got a calling on your life.
Time out. I was always taught when you say it's me, not you, what you're really saying is them and not you. That's what I was
Not in this case.
Not in this case. This case is real.
It's real that he put up his end of the bargain and
hey, every Raider fan I know was asking me. They were doing a homie check on me. They were like, "Pastor, are you okay? You okay, Pastor? You okay?
I know my wife was not right. She was upset.
No, I'm not all right.
No, my wife wasn't all right.
No, I'm not all right. No Raider fan is really all right with this. You know what? I saw somebody at the gym today. I said, I feel like I'm in a bad divorce, and they took me to the cleaners. And then after taking me to cleaners and wiping me out all my money, I still got to pay alimony. That's what I felt like. I felt like I've been in an abusive relationship for too long here. And then the guy says, "Well, do you want to switch teams?" And dummy me, you know what I said? No, I'm committed. I'm in it for life. Anyway, is there any hope for me? Is there any hope
for the Raiders? No. Hope for you? Yes. We got Jesus. Jesus gives hope.
Is there any way this turns out good?
Yeah.
Okay, well, give me some optimism, Mike. Come on, help me out.
Right. Just lost their coach. Everyone had hope in. A Hall of Famer. Gone. He knows how to draft people.
Look,
build up quarterbacks.
You're giving me a scale of 1 to 10. I'm not giving it a 10 of hope.
Oh,
okay, but there is hope.
No, way you said hope, you were pretty optimistic.
Okay, look, you give away in the NFL. You get money's a big deal when it comes to contracts. You gave away a lot of money, gives you the opportunity to do some more things.
First round draft pick, right?
You get two first round draft picks.
Yeah.
So this is how you theoretically this is how you rebuild.
Okay, I'm just gonna say one name, and I don't ever want to hear rebuild again. Okay, Jamarcus Russell.
Okay, now you have to draft one. Draft picks only work when you draft somebody good.
I could go on, right? I could go on. I know our history of our number one picks and how well it's turned out for us. Like, this isn't good. Okay, I need to get over it?
There's hope because at some point your owner will die. I mean, he can't be around forever. So it's just whoever comes in after him.
Pin my hope on a death, bro. You just. This is not funny. This is actually hilarious.
Well, it's inevitable. Yeah, I mean, it might be today. It might be 25, 30 years from now. But at some point,
something's got to happen.
There's hope.
Okay, there's hope. Will I win a Super Bowl before Jesus takes me home? How confident are you?
I'm pretty confident.
Okay. That was a long right there.
See, I'll give you 50 years.
I'm not gonna live for 50. I don't want to be 100.
That's possible.
But why? I want quality of life.
Everyone's saying quality of life is going to go up. You'll be living like
I was giving you in the 80s.
Yeah. Okay. That started. There we go.
I mean, I was like, okay, in the next 30 years, is it possible? I think so.
Okay, good.
So when you turn 80, remember that. Mike said that's it.
You said.
We'll come back and do the podcast 50th year anniversary. All right, moving right along. Okay, I found something funny. Not that the Raiders playing a joke on me isn't funny. And for all you non-Raider fans out there, go and leave it in the comments. Do I have hope or not? All right, I want to show you. I think we need to start with a good laugh because we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. We're going to be in the deep end of the pool. And so let's start off with a good laugh. Watch this right here.
What's a biblical way to say, let's break up? Depart from me, for I never knew you. This time tomorrow, I will deny you 3 times. Dear beloved, the walls of Jericho have risen again, but this time it's between us. The walls of Jericho.
What'd you think? I'll deny you 3 times. That part.
This time tomorrow.
That was good. You like it?
Yeah.
But you said these guys aren't good though, huh?
Don't follow them.
Don't follow them.
I've never
But
seen
that
him
was
before.
good.
No, it's good. No, I mean, they're funny.
Oh,
But they're very, very
Inappropriate.
dirty. Yeah, very inappropriate.
so what I'm hearing you say is this isn't Mama approved or Pastor Mandy approved.
No.
Okay.
Don't go. So, these guys are funny. Let me look them up. So don't
Okay.
do that.
Don't do that.
So that's a full disclaimer to everybody watching.
Yeah, I've never seen them, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, I thought it was good. It's good biblical breakups. Okay, I'm gonna run it back with another funny one because it's our boy John Christ. You guys ready? Watch this.
I got a joke for every denomination. Don't worry, I'll get you before we get out of here. You guys go to church? Church or no? What denomination? Oh, enough with the non-denominational. We're we're different. Our pastor drives a Tesla. Non-denominational. Good to see y'all. What are y'all religious or no? Southern Baptist. All right, figured that out. Oh, yeah. A lot of y'all in here. Okay. Any Jehovah's Witnesses? Come on, you guys, be mature. I don't have an, okay, I just have one Jehovah's Witness joke. I just have one. It's very quick. Just one Jehovah's, it's not, just, all right, one Jehovah's Witness joke. You guys ready? Knock, knock. All right, we're done. All right, moving on. I don't know, that's just... I like it, but in my house, for the big family group text in my house is nuts. There's so much inspiration in there, and y'all got to get in yours. It's fun. Just gas it up in there, you know? Like, everything in the group text now is just, I love the group text. It's just inspiration in my whole show. Everything's about spanking. Everything is about spanking in the group text, because now we didn't get, make some noise if you got spanked. Make some noise if you got spanked. Yeah. All right. We all got spanked. Now, all my brothers and siblings have little kids. Like, just, they're bad kids, okay? They're bad. Nah, they're terrible kids. No one hits them anymore. Like, no one spanks the kids. We are trying something different, John. Emotionally sensitive parenting. Listen, my nephew broke a crayon at a restaurant, just complete meltdown, just scream. And no one's hitting this kid, just like, tell us your truth. Tell us your truth. My sister's calling her therapist, what should I do? My other sister's rubbing crystals together. Trying to manifest no tears. She's quoting Brene Brown. Vulnerability. My sister doesn't believe in physically looking down on her kids. She doesn't believe, because that's judgmental. We are in a Chili's. She's on the ground in a Chili's. Just, please, what do you need? I'll help you. Anything. You are loved. You are valuable. Tell us you're safe. Feelings are hard. I'm sitting there like, dude, I will hit a child, bro. I will hit a child. Dude, I will hit your child, bro. You see me at a restaurant, your kid's acting up, wink at me, go to the bathroom, I will hit your child. I will. We tried it, okay? We tried not spanking. It didn't work, okay? We gave it a shot. You're like, oh, we don't spank our kids. Well, now he's 26 and growing sunflowers out of his trunk and is on unemployment. What happened? My son does not eat that. My son does not what? Do you ever say that? Dude, I didn't eat Brussels sprouts. I stayed at the dinner table until morning, dude. It was the Cold War in my house, dude. And now they said, my son just offended. Listen, I'm sorry, you sending your kids off for these teachers to watch your terrible kids for 8 hours a day. The least you could do is defend the teachers when they say your kid is terrible, dude. No, dude. Skylar would never. Skylar would never. He would. He's terrible. If my dad ever found out about me disrupting, he would come up to the school, beat me in front of the class, say, I'm going to lunch. If he does it again, y'all hit him. Bro, we got spanked in groups growing up, dude. Remember that? Remember, I was asleep one night. Asleep, dude. I got woken up to be spanked. Wake up, we're being spanked. All of us, oldest to youngest. No explanation. Tell us your truth. Tell us.
Skylar would never do that. Yes, he would. He's terrible.
That's the funniest thing I've ever seen him do.
Right here. That was good.
Because it's all true.
It's so true. Okay, the part that
My sister's rubbing Chris.
No. Okay, that was good. But the part that had me dying laughing the first time I watched it, he said, my sister's on the ground at Chili's because she doesn't want to look down at it. I couldn't do it.
Tell us your truth. Tell us your truth.
And then he said, be vulnerable. Brene Brown. I was like, that's cold. Did you like that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all his family stuff is hilarious. And there's some other ones about his family and how they live now, how his parents. He's like, I couldn't have a TV in my house, and now my sister's in a room with her boyfriend watching movies. I'm like, what the heck's going on right now? And mom was saying, no, let her have her space. It's crazy. It's like, yeah.
Oh, is part of what makes good comedy is when it's real, like when it's not made up. It's just real life experiences.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, because I love that other one because the younger like siblings, they get it so much easier. Oh, it's like everyone knows that's what makes it so funny. It's like
that's true. Now, where are you at? Where are you at in the birth order? Like you fourth oldest or?
Yeah. So out of my brothers, I'm right in the middle.
Okay.
But I also have two older sisters.
Okay.
So I'm like somewhere in the middle.
Okay, but still being in the middle.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Youngest.
You the youngest? Okay. Do you feel like it was easier on you or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I didn't do stupid stuff like my sister did.
Touche.
Yeah, you just wait. Well, I'm just watching. Don't do that.
But real talk, like, so with my mom and my dad, I'm the youngest with my mom, but I felt like I was the oldest because I always just was more type A than my brother. But then when my dad had other kids, right? So yeah, I have 3 other siblings. I always tell them all the time, you and I got different dads. Like there's just no doubt. Like dad beat me. Like like I got full on beatings. I don't never see y'all getting beatings. Like I got belt. I got lash. I got like branches. I got like extension cords. I got hangers. Like you guys got like yelled at. And I told my brother all the time, I was like, my youngest brother, because there's a huge age difference. I was like, you ain't got the same dad as I got. No. You ain't got the same dad. You may have the same father, but you ain't got the same dad. Like I got mean dad. I got aggressive dad. You got all nice dad. That's what I got. So I think it's true, and I get to see both ends now, right? Because I'm right in that middle. I get to see the oldest and all the way to the youngest. And I'm like, oh, that's what makes it funny. It's like, because he's got, my sister has young kids. So he's got young grandkids, right? And like now he's like letting him change the TV. Man, if I even got caught with the remote when I was a kid, I got something thrown at me. You know what I mean? And now the kids all changing the TV. So my dad, what's he do? He puts 3 TVs in the living room. So he can have his own TV. Does he not have 3 TVs? He has 3 TVs. That's what I'm saying. Like they got grandpa dad. You know what I mean? Like I got dad. And no, don't you two come back with any of that either. So just stay there. But I think what makes good comedy is like you see that in the store.
Yeah.
Like I was at the store the other day. And how candies, the stores be doing you wrong. They put the candy way down.
Yeah.
And they put the ring pops and all the sugary stuff that kids want down at the bottom. A kid was having a full-on meltdown. I mean, just throwing a tantrum. And I saw that mom just bend down. She goes, we need to breathe. We need to breathe right now. You need to control your emotions. And he just got louder. And finally you could see like it was her turn. And she's like, okay, I'll just buy it for you, but stop crying. And I'm thinking,
that's funny because those are the things that I tell myself when my kid does that, so that I don't hit them in front of everybody.
Which one? The breathe?
Mike, you need to breathe. Mike, you need to breathe. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. So all these mandated reporters are all looking. They're all looking at you. Yeah. How's he gonna respond? How's he gonna?
Yeah, I can't hit my kids in public. Yeah, because I'm black. They gonna think I'm just beating my kids. Being able to make your kids in public, that's white privilege. I can't hit my kids in public. They're calling immediately on me.
Can we get a comment from you, please? You're the only white guy on the panel.
It's true. Oh.
Breathe. Just breathe.
Everybody looking at me. Look at him. He just gets away with it. Deshaun's looking. He's got to think twice before he hits his kid.
Oh, gosh. Oh. Okay, I don't know how to recover from that. Okay, moving right along. Deshaun. That was good. Well played. Well played. Anyway, I like John Chris. Do we know if he's coming to Fresno?
Stockton was the closest he was coming.
Why go to Stockton at all the places?
I would love to see John Chris in Stockton.
He had detailed security for sure. All Polynesians, all the Poly boys. Oh, if he comes to Fresno, I'm taking us all. We gotta go. We gotta go. Okay, we gotta get serious. I don't know how I recovered from that. That was just so funny. Okay, Iran. People have been asking about Iran. Now, we've talked about this. We don't, know everything. We do know that it was a Islamic regime. We do know that they hosted terrorism, and we know what they were about. Death to America. They made that no secret. That was very public. However, people are asking me on a biblical perspective, what does this mean? And you guys know me. I don't really dive too much into eschatology and study the end times, and partially because I just that's just it's too mysterious for me, and I don't want to lead anybody wrong. I don't want to give any bad information. I did come across a clip, and it's a little longer. It's about 3.5 minutes long, but lean in and listen to it. I did feel that this gave a good overall perspective, if that makes sense. So we'll dive into it a little bit after this clip. Let's watch this clip.
Some people are saying that with Iran, that the reason why you should never have done this is in the first place, let alone do it, is because everybody was convinced it was going to lead to World War III. No, not yet, because I believe God gave us the answer. It's a part of them being absorbed. Their power structure is being taken down so that they will be absorbed into the Tin Horn Kingdom. But let me give you a couple smoking guns why I think that needs to be reinforced, is because I don't know if you've noticed, but it's very odd that Russia and China is basically letting this happen. Have you noticed that? I mean, they both put out statements, hey, yeah, you shouldn't do this. But what are they doing, Ricky? What are they doing? They are giving the United States of America and Israel carte blanche activity to go in and take down Iran, when Iran has been one of their long-standing partners. Yep. Don't you find that strange?
It is.
That tells me they're all working together. Okay, now let me add another layer. And I learned this when I took the deep dive in the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset, the 4 documentaries that Amazon canceled. The fact that Iran, again, has been in a long-standing relationship with Russia and China. Okay, China has a long-standing, still to this day, relationship with the World Economic Forum. In fact, that's why Joe Biden was called China Joe, because he was basically bringing what Klaus Schwab said he wanted to bring to the planet. It was called the China model. The social credit score system, the cashless society where everybody is micromanaged with CCC cameras, and it's all merged into the profile. And then you get punished economically. You get punished with electronic currency or the lack thereof, the ability to use that currency because it's all electronic now, to enter a building, to buy a plane ticket, or now you get a worse loan rate. If you can even get a loan, you can't travel, blah, blah, blah. China's been doing that for years. Why? Because China has been the test bed. This is on tape. That was what they called the China model. They wanted to bring the China model to the rest of the planet, because they're not just going to split the planet up into 10 regions. They're going to create the Big Brother Society, Revelation 13, with it. Yep. Now, here's my point. So China has been in bed with Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset guys, the globalists taking over the planet for a long time. Most people don't know this one. And in the research, guess who is also a graduate of the Young Global Leaders Program from the World Economic Forum? Klaus Schwab. Guess who?
Xi?
Nope. Putin.
Oh, of course.
Putin
That was my second guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, dude, he's playing his part. You understand my point? So when you understand they're all interconnected to their big plan, we don't get to vote on it, but God told us in advance it would happen as a sign in your last days. So if you're not saved, you better get saved. This is no joke. Or if you are saved, get cracking, start sharing the gospel. Right. But they're working on the same plan. That, to me, Ricky, explains why both Russia and China are literally allowing the United States of America and Israel to take down Iran with basically just a little bark. Because
Crazy.
everybody said there's no way that Russia and China, with the deep ties they have with Iran, would ever allow for that to take place.
That's true.
So how long has it been and they still haven't done anything? Dude, they're all in on it.
The reason I wanted to bring that up is for those who study eschatology and for those who really want to get into it, he's talking about the 10-horn kingdom that is in Revelation. And that basically the world kind of divides up into under one globalist type of thing. And he's not wrong. Now, is he right in that Iran's going to be part of that 10? I don't know how they break that down. So I have no idea whether to vet that as right or wrong. But there will be 10 basically major world powers. Now, could it be that Russia and China are a conglomerate as one and they absorb Iran? Absolutely. I will say this, though. We've known for a long time that Iran sells the oil to Russia and China, especially to China. Excuse me. So to ask the question, why aren't they doing something more if they're a triad, if they're a part of an agreement? Kind of like if somebody really bombed Britain or did what we were doing in Iran to Britain, we would step in, right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So these are great questions. I just wanted to give that to everybody who watches to let them understand that his overall point of what he's trying to say, there's something else at play here. He's right. Now, is he right on exactly the details of what's in play? I don't know. I don't know enough to know whether he's right or wrong. But is something else at play? Absolutely. This is all end times type of stuff. Could it be part of the 10-horn system? Absolutely. There's no doubt. Is it going to be, though, where he controls the world economically? 100%. That is 100% true. The Antichrist will have to control the world economically because that's how you get to most people. So anyway, I just hope that clarifies for people. There is something else at play. And I agree with this last statement. If you're not saved, you need to get saved. You need to know Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior. What'd you think of the clip? That makes sense? Or is that still like too airy out there?
No, I think it's we understand something's going on, and we may not know who's right, who's wrong about what they believe, or if America's right about them even attacking. Right. We don't know, but we know something is going on, something is happening, and I do love his closing sort of towards the end statements that if you don't know Christ, come to know Christ. And if you do know, you need to go share the gospel. That should be our motivating factor.
Right there.
Because even Jesus, I was looking at this morning, it tells us, tells them it's evil to go look for a sign. He's like, you wicked. He's like, you wicked generation. Mm-hmm. You go look for a sign. It's like the only sign that's been given to you is that of Jonah. Mm-hmm. And because that is the greatest sign that Jesus died and rose from the dead. And so that needs to be the primary focus of the church. Not looking for like, is this right or this right? But it's like, no, something's going on. You need to get saved.
So good. And
preach the gospel. And so I do like how he sort of came back to that. Obviously, he's not at church. He's talking about these things, and we don't know if he's 100% right. But he comes back to the main point, and that's what we should be focused on. Something's going on. Preach Jesus.
So good. Is there anything you wanted to add? That was great, dude.
Yeah, what's the phrase? You put the cart before the horse?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you may die today.
We're not. The Bible clearly says that we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Absolutely.
And so it's like, I think that looking into this stuff is very worthwhile. Yeah, I know that Jimmy Evans is probably putting out a bunch of stuff about this right now because he's the king of end time stuff, which I like Jimmy Evans. I just haven't had enough time to look at see what he's putting out there. So I don't think it's like useless, and time wasting to look at it. But if you're putting all your effort into this, and you're forgetting like the basics, which I think he did a good job, like Deshaun said, of like bringing it back. Like hey, this is the horse, this Revelation stuff is the cart. You need to be putting the first things first.
Yeah, I wanted to show that because as pastors, we do get these questions, and people are a little anxious about what's going on. Is this a World War III? I told somebody the other day, I said, listen, I don't think this lasts a month. I really don't. Mm-hmm. Funny, Trump just did I feel like he's always talking to the press, but he just did a quick little snippet saying, hey, this will be over before you know it. Gas will be back down. He goes, gas is going to go up for a little while. There's just no doubt about that. He knows the refineries got bombed by Iran and stuff in the Middle East. No worries, but I don't think I go back to what I've been saying since the jump, which he wants to be known as the president of peace. I feel like this was the last thing that needed to be done, which, by the way, a lot of other presidents said they were going to do it too. He just did it. Now, moving right along, something broke last week, and I'm going to play a clip. It's a little bit longer too. The reason I'm going to play it is because Tim Tebow went before Congress to talk about the severity of what's going on with child trafficking. And I'm not saying there's a correlation between the two, but what I am saying is I'm getting sick and tired that our tax dollars go to protect people who are guilty and protect people who've done nefarious things. And I think we need to start saying something about it. This is Representative Nancy Mace who wanted to introduce a bill. They're going to tell you what the bill is, and basically to expose all sitting House members who've had some type of accusation or have been settled or have been prosecuted for some type of harassment. And believe it or not, Congress all voted unanimously to protect people. Can you believe that? To protect themselves. And we're going to hear about it in this clip. Watch this.
All right, the same members of Congress that have been screaming nonstop for the full release of the Epstein files, the ones that didn't do anything about it while they were in Congress, of course, those same people just voted in mass to kill a bill forcing the House Ethics Panel to release all sexual harassment allegations that have been made against themselves. 357 members, 182 Democrats, 175 Republicans, voted to kill Nancy Mace's bill, referring the decision to the Ethics Committee, where it will get shot down. Only 65 members voted with Congresswoman Mace, and she joins us now to talk about that. So you had a bill to make public all the allegations against members of Congress. And as they always do, they vote to protect themselves, right?
Correct. Hundreds of them, over 300 Republicans and Democrats. And in fact, leadership in both parties were whipping the vote, making sure that my motion failed on the floor. And it was an abject failure to the people of the United States. It was shameful. And I don't want to hear one word out of a single person that voted against releasing the sexual harassment files of members of Congress. You don't get to say one word about Jeffrey Epstein or his victims. You lost that chance yesterday.
How much of a problem is this in Congress of sexual assault, sexual harassment claims from sitting members of Congress against their staffers? Is this a huge issue?
Well, clearly it's enough for leadership in both parties to hide it from the American people. I don't know, because I asked a question and couldn't even get the answer. And it went to committee where it will go to die, like it always does. I had to fight yesterday even to get the slush fund subpoena done on an open. And that money only goes to 2018. But up until 2018, we're talking about tens of millions of dollars, from $1 to $5 million a year, paid out on sexual harassment claims by members of Congress and employees here on the Hill. It's crazy.
Tens of millions of dollars is paid out to settle these claims, and nobody will allow them to be made public. I mean, what a weird world you work in that town.
You'd be fired, right? Any other company, private or public in the United States, if you did something like this, you would be fired on the spot. You wouldn't last a day. And here we are. There's a two-tiered system of justice. There's one for the rich and powerful and the politically connected, and then there's one for everybody else, and it's not fair.
AOC said that the idea is good, but the text was rushed and not thought through. It violated a lot of standard practices to protect survivors and due process. That's her excuse for voting against it. What do you say to that?
Well, that's just a lie. AOC is a liar. I mean, I had the names of victims redacted in that resolution. I had the names of witnesses redacted in that resolution. I am a survivor, and I've done everything I can to protect those who have survived awful things in their life. And so she's just not telling the truth, and it's shocking to see the number of women that voted against this sort of thing, and to be treated like that. It's insane.
What a weird world. One final thing here. I mean, it's such an insider game where you are in Washington.
Yeah.
It's even more clear. It's clear when you see a story like today. Even more clear when you look at the money as well. I want to take a look at the top 3 congressional stock traders last year. Blumenthal, Da Nang Dick, 406 trades, 80 million in volume. He's trading in stock. Michael McCall, Republican, over 75 million in stocks traded for Michael McCall. He's a rich guy anyway. Ro Khanna, nearly 4,000 trades, over $55 million. I mean, there is a tremendous amount of money being made by members of Congress on stock. We know that this is all insider trading. We know.
What was that? We good? Yeah, anyway, what do you guys think about that? I have so many various thoughts that, you know, it's beyond ridiculous.
I think that argument of how it was poorly written is kind of how they who have voted against it that's kind of like how they get by with voting against this bill, the AOC comment. But she does a great job. She's like, yeah, I redacted the names. I redacted all these. I'm a survivor. Like, why am I going to put people out there like that? I mean, when you bring something to the floor like this, you have to have done a good job of making sure you dotted your I's and crossed your T's, because if it gets shot down, you may not get another chance again. So I agree. I believe her.
So what do you think the motivating factor is? Why do you think they really voted it down? Like, honestly.
Well, we talked about.
I know this is all guesswork, but what would you say?
Well, we talked about this recently, that in the public eye, there are 2 very separate parties that hate each other.
Okay.
In the private eye, there's one party that goes to dinner together, that has kids who go to the same school, and hey, look, this isn't good for us collectively.
Right.
Right. Hey, you want to get back into office? You know who I know, right? Yeah, you're gonna vote. You're gonna vote for this. And so AOC on paper, like she's voting against it. She may very well hate having to vote against this, right. But she's like, hey, I got to play the game. It's a game.
It's a game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, they're a protected class. You get into politics and you're protected. We talked about this before. Like TJ Cox was the last one we know the guy in trouble. Did he really get in trouble? He, like you said, he didn't have to pay the money back.
Yep.
How much time did he spend in jail? They're just so protected. We see like the
year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, we see like the city council how protected they are by. And when they do go to court, it's not even their own money. And so that was the big issue that they have here. Is when they have these settlements they have, it's behind closed doors and it's taxpayer money.
Yeah.
It's not even their own money. And so why would you mess around with that protection? It was like, no, we got to remain this protected class. AOC might hate that people actually do this, but she was like, I want to stay part of this class where no matter what I do, I'm good.
Yeah, you don't vote against this, we're going to expose you on this other
You don't want to open that door. Mm-hmm. You don't open that door where people can actually come after you.
Yeah, and like how protected is she really? Like she's not an old white guy. Like that's who's really protected in when it comes to politics. Like she doesn't get that card to play.
Now, I think this is the part where I just try to get up on a soapbox and tell everybody, don't get played. That's why this whole play, they play us against the sides, whether it was immigration or the war or whatever else. They try to play us, but it's what you're saying. They're on the same team. They're looking like they're two different teams, but they're on the same team behind closed doors. This breaks my heart because I'm having a hard time digesting that my tax dollars are going to pay to protect people who are guilty of crimes. That's where I'm at. Now, I set all that up, and I'm not saying these two clips are related. They could be. They could have some crossover people, okay? That's very well, because that's what we're learning about the Epstein files and all this. But Tim Tebow went before the House. I'm going to say viewer discretion is advised, only because what he's going to be commenting on. We really need your help. We're for sure going to get turned down. We're talking about a lot of stuff that most people want to talk about. And the reason I'm talking about it is because the church needs to do something. That's the only hope. The church needs to do something. I don't know what we can do yet. I'm trying to find that out, trying to figure it out. But Tim Tebow's the man. This guy is so humble. God has platformed him. It's just so incredible, but this is so heartbreaking. He's before Congress talking about child trafficking, right? And this is just, you've seen this before. He was on a podcast. Was it Andrew Schultz podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that podcast is called, but anyway, long story short, he's before Congress now. And I want you to watch this. Viewer discretion is advised. This is also a gut check. This will really hit you where it hurts. Okay, watch this.
Good morning, Chairman Hawley, Ranking Member Durbin, distinguished members of the committee. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and really a privilege and humbling to be here with all of you, Miss Julia, Miss Stacia, Yasmin, and Miss Jane. It really is humbling and feel unworthy to be sitting beside all of you. So thank you so much for your work. As you mentioned, I'm so blessed to be a part of the Tim Tebow Foundation, and we exist to bring faith, hope, and love to those needing a brighter day in their darkest hour of need. But to really sum it up, it's to fight for people that can't fight for themselves. And I believe that's exactly why we're here today. Several years ago, we were finishing a leadership meeting, and I looked at Camille, our VP of Anti-Human Trafficking and Child Exploitation, and she had a very sober look on her face. And I said, Camille, what is it? What's breaking your heart? And she wrote down the number 20,000. And I said, Camille, 20,000 what? And she said, 20,000 boys and girls. That's the best guess of what law enforcement can see in rape and abuse images, but yet they're categorized as unknown, unidentified. So that led us to a meeting in Lyon, France with HSI, FBI, Interpol, Europol, NCMEC, Google, ONIMI, and 18 other countries to find out, okay, what actually is the closest thing to the truth? And it wasn't 20,000. It was 57,000 boys and girls in the ICSA database that have yet to be identified. And that led us to Renewed Hope 1, 2, and 3, which identified over 1,100 boys and girls, and over 550 of them have been safeguarded so far. And right now, 30 minutes away at C3, the Cyber Crime Center, which is just so many of the best investigators and agents that America has to offer. They really are incredible. We just came from there, and I just want to thank them because they are the tip of the spear and the best of the best. And right now, the biggest operation ever in the fight against child exploitation is taking place with 30 countries, 34 agencies, 94 investigators and victim identification specialists, and hopefully it will be one of the biggest operations ever in history. But the problem is that the number now is not 57,000. With all of the work that all of these people and amazing law enforcement agents and nonprofit NGOs are doing all around the world, the number is not 57,000 like we said 2 years ago. It's over 89,000. We are losing the battle and we are losing the war, and boys and girls are suffering for it. And to give you an idea of the scope of what's happening in America, there's a red dot map right over there over my right shoulder, and that's just a 6-month screenshot of the US. And every red dot that is on there is someone that is downloading, sharing, or distributing child rape images, almost all under the age of 12. And there's over 330 of them just in that 6-month screenshot. And we know that 55 to 85% of them are also hands-on offenders, and we know that your average offender has 13 victims in their lifetime. The scale of harm right here in America is, to a certain extent, hard to comprehend, but that's why we're here. And when you knock down one of those doors, you also have no idea how many boys and girls you're going to find. From Operation Renewed Hope 1, one of the doors that was knocked down, when they went in and seized his computer, they found that he also had raped 30 other boys and girls in that neighborhood. So there's a lot of work to do. And Ranking Member Durman, you're right. We have to be able to act. A little over a year ago, I was at one of our protection centers, and a protection center has extra security because there's still a bounty and a price on these girls and young women's lives. And I was walking through the counseling rooms, and I walk up to one of the counseling rooms, and it's this beautiful couch, and it's got teddy bears and toys and children's books in it. And right behind the couch, there's a window. And right behind the window is the wall, and it's the edge of the protection center. I look up to the top of the wall, and it's the razor wire all the way around the top. And I'm just looking at this picture, and it's a surreal picture because inside, those girls are going to be cherished and loved and protected and cared for. But on the outside, they went through an earthly form of hell. And I'm standing there looking at this picture, and one of our team members comes and whispers in my ear as I'm looking at this picture. And he said, "Man, isn't it such a thin line between tortured and treasured?" And he was right. It is a thin line between tortured and treasured. And you are that thin line. And all of you are that thin line. But we have to have more people on that line, and we have to do a whole lot more, and we have to do it faster. Because every day we wait, they're suffering, they're crying, and I believe right now many of them are praying that we would respond. But how are we really going to respond? Because I ultimately also believe that this is what we're called to do. And what is calling me, in my opinion, the best definition is an urgent divine invitation to accept responsibility for a particular task. But the question is, will we actually accept the responsibility of caring for these boys and girls and truly protecting them, or are we just going to continue to talk about it? Because there's so much we can do, but the question is, will we? Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me be a part.
Whoa. Dang, he's good.
What do you think about that? What statement got you?
I don't know.
It's kids. He said there's a thin line between treasure and what did he say, torture or treasure and
something like that.
Yeah. Okay. The reason I want to play this is we talk about tax dollars a lot. Why can't we have more tax dollars? You know what I mean? We pay for everything else. We're paying people's settlements for the nefarious things these people do, when our tax dollars could be going to what do you say, C3, to hire more people for C3, to free these kids, to get them from treasure to get them from torture to treasure, put up more safe houses, do more things, and yet we're blowing money for California, we're blowing money on a high speed rail that will never be built in our lifetime. We're blowing money on this and blowing money on that when we could be using money over here to help kids. And what would God rather have us do? Help kids.
Yeah.
Help kids. And he said, what does it mean to have a calling? It's a divine invitation to make an impact in someone's life. Tim Tebow is the right man. Say what you want about Tim Tebow. Say what you want about him and his athletic skills, whatever. This man is using that platform to do what really matters. Not win Super Bowls, but change lives. Shout out to Tim Tebow.
Yeah, he's amazing.
But do you remember how many people hated on him?
Yeah. Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, all the stuff that they try to say about him never stuck.
Ain't that the truth?
And when you're the real deal, you talked about it in the message yesterday. When you walk like you talk it,
he does. And look at him now, in front of Congress, making more of an impact. The brother may never hoist a Lombardi trophy, but he sure did move the needle in heaven. I'm
interested to see, what they can do with it. I mean, if you're not listening to him, I don't know who you're going to listen to.
That's a good point. I mean,
he's so articulate. He has all the. He brings everything to the table. He's got all the backing. He's got everything. If you're not gonna listen to him, you're not listening to anybody.
I have a question. I would love two things. Number one, I don't think that number is 89,000. I think the number is probably double that. It just how slow information gets to us, right? Does that make sense? I really do.
And you got to find it.
Well, I think that was just kids that have footage of that's unidentified.
Yeah. No, I know. Yes.
We don't know who these kids were or where they're from.
That's why I'm saying that. Yeah. That's why I'm saying that. I really do think it's a higher number. Okay, that's first. Second, I sure would like to partner with him, like to have a safe house here. You know what I mean? Like to help kids, to help. Woo. anyway, to do something to help the kids who are being trafficked and to protect them and to love them and to help them. So I don't know if we get a hold of them, but I mean, I don't know if they want to come to Fresno. Like, I don't know. You really want to come to Fresno? But just to be able to help, I think would be good, because I mean, how many of those kids are being moved up and down the valley or whatever? But I think that's what the church, if you think about the early church, now we're talking about this, right? You think about the early church when we were being persecuted in the first century, right? After Christ's resurrection, the gospel and all that, turning into the second century, 200 AD and all that, the church grew because we took in everybody who nobody else wanted. If there was a plague, we were the first ones in because we disregarded our lives. We knew where we were going. It meant nothing to us. There was this holy gumption, if I could say it that way, like, hey, when you don't want to go in, we'll go in because we're not afraid of death. We grew because when they would throw the deformed kids, the disabled kids out in the street because they felt like they were cursed from the gods, we took those kids in. We took in everybody who nobody else wanted to take in. That's how you look at all these hospitals. That's how all this started. This is what we did. And I think we have an opportunity now to do that again with these kids who have just been given up on. Some of them are going to need years of therapy, hope, and restoration for the things they went through. This is the church's finest hour. This is the finest moment. I think God will bless it. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. You guys got any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Like when you see stuff like this, you would think about, like, you're talking about, like, man, what do we do? Like, you feel moved, like, what do you do? And one thing lately I've been telling myself is I personally have to get better. Like, my walk with Christ needs to get better. Yeah. Like, I gotta be willing to share the gospel more.
Yes.
Like, all those, it has to start there. Because if you start there, I think we see from Tebow, even as this college kid, how he walked in integrity. He didn't have this authority. He didn't have this, but he was consistent in his walk with Christ. And God was like, I can trust you. I can give you more.
You're right.
But it all started with a simple personal conviction. I'm going to live for God. I'm going to be faithful. I'm going to be pure. I'm going to wait till I'm married. It all started there.
You're right.
Like it has to start there, and to see what God leads us and be open to when God says yes and opens the door for you, that you continue to say yes and walk through. But it has to start with our purity first. Mm-hmm. God's not going to use us to help kids if we can't be pure and be holy and do things according to the way he called us first. If we're not willing to open our mouths and share the gospel, why would God put you in front of Congress?
You're right.
And so I just really, like, my biggest thing was like, man, I have to get better and really follow in Christ.
Mm. You want to piggyback on that?
Nothing to say.
Yeah. But no, you're right. Which leads me to, this is why we do what we do with Mission Sunday. This is why I was so big on what we do in Mexico. This is why I was so big on what we do with the kids down there, because we see kids who look hopeless. We see kids that, I remember one of the students, their dad was an alcoholic, the mom wasn't around. And it's like, this is why we help you. This is why we provide food. This is why we provide clothing. This is why we provide education, too. Like, we pay for the after-school program. This is why we do what we do when it comes to missions. And I made a tongue-in-cheek joke yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I was like, hey, this is going to cost you something, though, if you sponsor a kid. You're going to have to give up that latte. You're going to have to give up something in order to afford it. And I said it in tongue-in-cheek, but I wasn't lying. Like this is going to have to cost you something. And in reading Chronicles, and then we'll get to the sermon yesterday and getting back on the mission. And by the way, shout out Tim Tebow. You said it earlier. They tried to throw everything at him, and it didn't stick. And I remember some scandals, and I think even Urban Meyer put him with who was the Hernandez, right? Mm-hmm. He linked up the most worst person in college football with the best person, and he still couldn't get drugged down. Like Hernandez was going to drag him down. Mm-hmm. What a testament to this character. And yes, I'm not surprised God is using him now, 100%. I had to say that because I followed Tim Tebow when he was at Florida, even when he was in high school. Now, going to Chronicles, this is what I learned in reading this last week's. I would say 10 days. In building of the temple, you got to give God your best. He wants your very best. He wants the best of you, the best of your worship, the best of your time, the best of your treasures. And when you show up with the best, he comes back with a little something in return. That cloud of glory that brought everybody to their knees to where they could no longer worship him because it was so rich and tangible, the presence, the manifestation of God. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, this is what he's requiring of us. He's requiring our personal integrity. He's requiring our personal walk with him. He's requiring our personal worship with him. I cannot worship for you. I can't stand in proxy. I can't read the Bible for you. I can't stand in proxy. And I think this is what's going on. God is desiring our best because he's going to give us his best. And so, yeah, I'm looking at myself critical. And I think that was the whole point of the message yesterday. I'm looking at myself critical because that's what I'm learning in Chronicles. Is like David literally gave his best up until the day he died. He gave it all. And so to me, that is speaking volumes in Chronicles. Like when you show up with your best to God, he comes right back with it. And I don't know about you, and I think people are missing the best of God because they're not giving their best. That was just my opinion as I'm reading Chronicles, and I just been so blessed, and I just want to just take one more minute on this. So I did a little short videoette on Solomon in the day that he brings the Ark of the Covenant and he sacrificed in the temple of the 1,000 burnt offerings. This is the most famous story, right? Where God comes to him and says, hey, ask for whatever you want. And we all know the story. He says, no, I don't need money. I don't need fame. I don't need any of this. What I need is wisdom to govern your people. And God says, because you didn't ask for money, power, and fame, I'm going to give it all to you. And I thought to myself, that's the easy part of the story. But if you're not careful, you miss the most gracious part of the story. Solomon got God's presence. God showed up with his presence. And I think sometimes we miss how valuable that really is. And you know why I said it? Because Solomon, at the end of his life, no longer had God's presence in his life. And that's why he was miserable. Keep your money, keep your power, keep your fame, keep your wisdom. I'd rather be a fool for Christ anyway. God, I can't do it without your presence. It was the Moses principle. God, I can't go there if you're not going with me. God, I don't want to go there if you're not going with me. It was David, take not thy spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of my salvation. All these key men of God who hungered and thirsted for God all had the same prayer. Give me your presence. That's what I really need. So I just told everybody, keep everything else. Just give me Jesus. Give me the presence. Give me the Mount. Give me Mount Tabor, the Mount Transfiguration. Give me God's presence, and everything else to fall into place. I can't do this without him. I'm desperate for him. Anyway, Chronicles.
Yeah, I was listening again, Second Chronicles of 1 and a few chapters, just listening to it again. And man, a statement had popped out to me. What Solomon says, there was more gold than stone.
Yeah.
It was just like this, like, I mean, there's stone everywhere. I mean, the stone is easy to get, it's cheap, and you're like, no, there's more gold here than stone. And just the elegance and just how beautiful this thing was going to be, and just like everyone in the world want to come see this. But he comes to another part and he says, you know, I can't build this. I need someone to build this, and to go find someone to build this. But I was even thinking to myself, we see that even that person still can build a temple that's worthy of God's presence. And we come to the New Testament, and you look in Genesis, I think the original temple that was supposed to be us. Yeah. There is no one fit to build a temple to house the presence of God. God is the only one who could build a temple that house the Spirit of God, and that's us. That was the original design. There's nothing we can build with our hands to hold the presence of God. No, God has put something in place to hold the presence of God, and that's each one of us. Yeah. That we are God's masterpiece. Yeah. We are the great temple. Yeah. We're greater than any gold or anything that's on this earth, and He desires that His Spirit will be in us. And it's like, it just blew me away as I'm thinking about this morning. It was like, no, all that stuff doesn't matter. Like, His presence in us is the greatest thing that He wants to do. That's where He wants to dwell. And I'm just humbled by it. It's just like, we take His presence everywhere, and that's where He wants to be. Nowhere else. So good.
Go ahead, Mike. That was good. I like that. What temple is fit enough for God? The one He built originally. Mm-hmm. Was you and me. Yeah. That's so good. I like that. You're going to have to preach that message. You got to work that message.
Sunday?
Preach that message. What was that? Moving right along.
Sunday?
Yeah. So, yeah. That's right.
Sunday's open.
He's already got half of it done. He's got to flesh out the rest.
We were both amen.
Yeah. We shot me down. That was good.
There was, and it may just be the translation I was reading, and so I don't know how well this actually translates, but in Chronicles chapter 1, it says Solomon, son of David, took firm control of his kingdom. Yep. And I think what stuck out to me about that was like, David set his son up, right? Solomon knew that this was going to be the plan, but he still had a choice.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
And he took it. And it's like, man, how many times have I been set up where I had an opportunity to do something, and all I needed to do was just take it.
That's good.
You know, God had a plan for me, and I didn't.
So good.
I also had me thinking, like, what do I have coming forward that what I need to do is I just need to trust God that whatever the plan is that he has for me, the ball's in my court. And so you can, David did everything for Solomon to have it set up. But at the end of the day, what is he going to do? So it's challenging for me, even as a parent. Like, I can set my kids up all I want, but at the end of the day, it's going to be their choice on whether or not they want to take their faith and whether or not they want to take the other things that I choose to give them. And just the idea of the relationship between David and Solomon had me thinking of just parenting, fatherhood, imparting onto somebody else, but being on both sides of imparting.
Can I ask you, just because you said it real quick. So David has multiple kids, as you guys know. Absalom's one of them. We know the story. I'm just throwing this out there. Is the difference in the mom? Difference in the mom? I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Look at the rest of his kids and what's going on. Is the difference in the mom? Was the difference really Bathsheba? Because if you look at Solomon, he's a totally different kid than the rest of them. I don't know. Do you have thoughts on that? That hit me the other day when I was reading it. I like your thinking that he took ownership. You're 100% right. He didn't have to, and he did. But was the difference in the mom and how he was raised with mom and dad at the same time? I'm just throwing that out.
Or Solomon got a different version of dad. He's favored.
Well, I can't even looking at. I don't know enough. I just heard a preacher say this, that God chose Solomon.
True.
David didn't. Their belief that David would have chose
Absalom. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Interesting.
Even though he was a troubled kid, that's the kid David would have chose. So I don't know. I didn't look more into it. So
I'll look into that. Yeah. God did choose. Well, his real name's Jedediah, so we know that. And then they gave him the name Solomon. I just think, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Skip it. We're already off in the deep end. That's what people like about our podcast. You got to think about who you're going to marry. You got to think about that woman you're with right now. Is that mom material? Do you want her raising your kids? Do you want her influencing your kids? Who you marry matters. And ladies, I ain't leaving out the guys. And who you marry matters too. Does he know how to work hard? Is he going to be there for you? Is he willing to grow with you? We got to do a whole segment on relationships. I spit nothing but truth on this. You got to think about, do you want that woman around to influence your kids? Because she's going to have a lot of influence over your kids. Oh, that's going to get us in trouble, but that's good. Am I wrong?
It shouldn't get us in trouble. It's true. Yeah. We talk about this all the time. When you see somebody who's on fire for God and they really want to do more in the church, and the other person, whether that be a husband or a wife, is kind of like, not so much. And it's like, man, who you marry matters, because all of a sudden there's conflict in the home over just serving God.
If that's not the realest statement, I want to say this. So I don't get you guys into trouble. I'm gonna do. Well, we're gonna do one for the young men. We're gonna do one for the young men. But I'm gonna bring a whole lady panel on so we can do one for the young ladies. That way they can email them. How's that sound?
I would say this. I don't care. If it really does matter who you marry. Like, because I think of like your daughter. Like every guy's gonna be protected for their daughter. Do you want your daughter to dress like your wife? Do you want her to act like your wife?
Oh, okay.
It's like, no, you think about that, like, because she's the one to be influencing them. Do you want your daughter to look like your wife, or no? Do you want to be as modest as your wife, or is out crazy like as your wife?
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Who do you want your daughter to be? Who do you want to be raised by?
No,
you want to raised by the girls out in the streets, and that's to be your daughter now?
Right.
You're like, oh, how did you end up that way? Well, that's who you married.
Yeah. We definitely bring an all-girl panel. We definitely go do it. Okay, something to look forward to on the podcast. Okay, let's jump into the word, and then let's jump into the word. Let's just go right there to it. I want to shout out though. A lot of people have been telling me they tuned in. We got a lot of new subscribers and people watching and stuff. And I got a homie from AutoZone. And I was there picking up
sponsors.
Sponsors. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Man, let's go. So, give me some belts or whatever.
I'm over there getting some parts. And he comes up to me and he goes, yo, man, that podcast last week was fire. And one of the ladies goes, he has a podcast? And so he goes, yeah. Okay, I have to say what he said because this is the funniest part. He goes, man, it's funny as hell. And she goes, that's an interesting statement to say for a church podcast. Shout out. You know who you are. I said I wouldn't drop your name because you want to protect the guilty on that one. But shout out for watching us from AutoZone. I appreciate it. All right. Now, back to the word. Going back to a life on mission. A lot of people approached me about the part of being critical and judgmental. And that's how you know your compassion is kind of running low. And you got to halt. Everybody was asking me about halt. I found that on a clip somebody had said, hey, before you pop off, are you hungry, angry? And it could be anxiety, either one. Are you lonely? Are you tired? Before you pop off, are you one of those four? Then don't say anything. Just walk away and come back another day. Everybody was blowing me up on that. But I want to hear from you guys. Was there anything in specific that stood out to you, or something you wanted to talk about from the message yesterday? We'll go with Mike. Go ahead.
I've been a little bit more challenged than normal on being generous to others, and
okay,
and specifically like financially, right? And the other day I was getting my car washed, and anyway, I felt like I was saying, hey, give this guy a tip who's drying off the car and everything, because usually I don't. I mean, that's your job,
No, you're right.
So. I'm not usually over generous in that area. So I was like, but the bills I had were a little bit larger than I wanted to give him. So I was like, okay, well, in order to give him what I feel like I want to give him, I need to go break it. So that means I got to go inside. I got to go break it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go the extra mile.
Let's go.
He's a nice guy, so I gave him what I gave him, and so it was my wife's car. So we ended up talking later on, and we're talking about the car wash, and she was like, yeah, they didn't even clean my back window. And I was like, I'm going to go get my money back. No, but in seriousness, I do find myself at times lacking compassion. I feel like maybe when I'm doing when I'm hitting a certain level spiritually, I see the person on the corner as a daughter, as a son. And when I'm probably not doing as well, I see that person as an addict.
Yeah.
And so it was very convicting that I need to, at all times, slow down and see the person, see the humanity and whatever the suffering is that somebody's going through, and be careful that that could have been me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it could be me.
Still, yeah, you're right. Bishop, what do you think?
The prodigal son at the beginning, he tells 3 parables, I think, in a row.
Lost coin, lost sheep, lost son, yeah.
And so at the beginning, the reason he started this in Luke chapter 15, verse 1, says, now the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus, but the Pharisees and the teachers of the law murdered this man welcomes sinners and eats with them. And that's how it all started, getting there. And because you're talking about the son, the brokenness of people. And it all started with them realizing Jesus hangs out with broken people. Yeah. And why is he with them? And for us all to realize, and what you're pointing out, that, hey, we all have this brokenness. And the one thing I really want to convey, and I really felt it, for us and for myself, is this, hey, we are broken, but God believes in you. We believe in each other. Like, we're there for each other, because even in our brokenness, there's something that God gives us. He gives us his spirit. And it's not about you. It's about what he gives us. And it's okay that we're broken. It's okay that we're hurt, but we don't have to stay that way. And we can help each other through the power of his spirit to get out of that. God doesn't want you to walk in those addictions, that hurt, that bitterness, that anger, whatever it may be. Like, hey, no, there's a way out. And don't feel condemned because of the mistakes you made. That's the people Jesus hung around with. Everyone else was mad about it. But God's like, no, I'm going to be with these people, and I'm going to sit down, I'm going to eat with you. I'm going to do life with you, and I'm going to care for you. And he can heal that brokenness. And I was just like, man, it's really good. Yeah.
I believe there's a basic fundamental belief there from our Lord, from our blessed Redeemer. And it was, my holiness is greater than your filthiness. My righteousness is greater than your sinfulness. My grace is greater than your condemnation. My love is greater than your hate. And I think we miss that. Jesus just wants to hang out with you. He knows you're a screw up. He knows the depths of your heart. You can't run from him. You can't hide from him. But yet he still chooses to hang out with you, Zacchaeus. I'm coming to your house. He still chooses to hang out with you, woman at the well. Had no business drawing his own water anyway. He has no business telling that woman, hey, that he was without sin cast the first stone. He has no business healing the man at the pool of Bethesda. You see where I'm going with this? He had no business concerning himself with a wedding to turn the water into wine. He chooses to leave divinity to hang out with humanity because he's showing you his divinity is greater than your humanity. And there's something in that parable, since you brought it up. I'm going to give you all a little something. I told you it was my favorite parable. If you go on to read in Luke 15, the son asked for the money. You know that part.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the verse right after that? And he waited some time. That always blows me away. He gets what he asked for. He gets what he wants, and he doesn't leave right away. The Bible's not clear. Jesus wasn't clear. Was it a day? Was it 3 days? Was it a month? Why? Why add that? Why does Luke add that into the story? All scriptures God breathed, 2 Timothy 3:16. Why is it there? Because it's teaching you about people. It's showing you something about humanity. That there is a time and a space, and I'll prove it to you because I'll come to the end of the story. There's a time and a space where people are really counting the cost. They get what they want, and they're trying to settle if they want what they got. And I think that's what was going on with the young man. He was like, oh, Dad gave me what I wanted. Do I really want this? And there's that space and there's that time where you get to count the cost. God always gives you that space and that time to count the cost. And he counted it and he took off. He said, hey, there was more waiting for me outside of my Father's presence than inside my Father's house. And when he went, because he had to learn. He had to learn something that he was never going to learn inside the house. That the grass isn't greener, people aren't friendlier, and there's not an unconditional love in the world. The devil never has a compassionate moment. You will never find no greater love than in God's house. And he had to go learn it for himself. He was too stubborn to learn it any other way. And that's why the Bible, Luke brings it all the way back around to the story of the parable of the prodigal son. And it says after some time, he came to his what? Senses. He came to his senses. He was never going to come to his senses in that space and time in the beginning where he did not go see what was out there. Some people are going to have to walk away. I hate to say it that way. The only way they're going to learn is if they walk away, and we got to have the wherewithal and the power to let them walk and to not go chase them. Because you know what the father didn't do? He didn't check up on his Twitter. He didn't check up on his Instagram. He didn't check up on his TikTok. He didn't check up on his Facebook. He didn't go hunt him down. He let him go. There's a love there. And saying, listen, if I rescue you too soon, you'll never learn your lesson. But I will always have the light on and the door open when you're ready to come home. And when he came to his senses, what happened? He was a changed person. Changed person. Love that story. I could go on. Mm-hmm. Well, I've debated about writing my own thoughts about Luke 15 and that story in particular, just for my own journey in my own life and the things that I've experienced. Like, I've seen so many hidden gems in there. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Because you know the dad was a well-known man. He was well-to-do. He had enough money where the son could lose it all, and he still had enough to give him half again. Now, I don't know what type of money that is, but, I would like to find out. But he's a well-known man. You know that was his kid. Everybody knew. He had servants. Everybody knew. You don't think word got back around to him? But every day he got up and he looked to the east. He looked to see if his son was coming home. That's all. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Mm-hmm. So, anything you want to piggyback off that? That was good.
Yeah. How do you let people go? I mean, because I don't disagree. I agree.
Hard.
But it's like the
begrudgingly. Difficult. How many more words you want me to give?
Yeah, what would you say to the person who's having to let the other person go? So whether that be like a sibling, could be a friend, kid. Because if you rescue too early, right, then there's a growth. You're stunting their growth and everything like that. What would you say, D? Like, what do you?
Yeah, someone asked me actually after service talking about compassion, like how do you show compassion? But I feel like I'm enabling someone to do certain things. Yeah. Well, I was like, first of all, you stop and pray, and I kept thinking about this even yesterday too. It's another situation, and God, how do I help them? This is how I will help you. I'm not helping you outside of this.
Yeah.
I'm willing. I was talking to someone yesterday, and it was like, they might call you for food. Because I'm not gonna give them money. It was like, I'll help you with food. I'm gonna buy you food.
Yep.
But I'm not giving you money anymore.
Yep. Yeah.
And so you can call me uncompassionate, but I will not let you go hungry.
But why is that uncompassionate?
They're going to say that about you.
I'm sorry. Who? Go ahead.
Maybe that person.
Okay.
Or people around you was like, no, in this round, this is how I'm gonna show you this is the best way I know how to show you love and compassion. And you set those boundaries.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but Jesus never enabled anybody. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, the guy who he healed, And he came back and he saw the guy begging. What did he say? He said, knock it off. Let something greater come upon you. He didn't enable him.
Yeah. It's just difficult when you're face to face with someone you care about and you see them in this struggle. You don't want to say no. You see them.
Wrong.
You see them. They're desperate, but it's like no, because I'm gonna keep you in that same place, so I can't help you in this situation. But this is how I'm willing to help you. Hey, you want to go to the mission? I will give you a ride. I'll make sure you're taken care of.
Absolutely.
But I'm not helping you. But if you want to stay on the street and you want to live this way, that's on you. But you can have my phone number. I'll call you anytime. You can't come to my house because you bring destruction to my house. But I'll make sure. I'll help you get to a place where you can live.
And I'll pay the bill. That's the parable of the Good Samaritan. I'll pay the bill. If there is a cost to that, I'll pay the bill. If you want to stay in the program, I'll pay the bill. I will. You know what I mean? And I think we just have to be careful of false compassion. And enabling people is false compassion. So how do you let people go? Very hard. Very hard. You have to know. You have to know you're hearing from God, and that I love what Pastor Ron told me. He said, Anthony, you have to remain sensitive to the Holy Spirit, even if it seems unorthodox, even if it seems unpractical. You just gotta be obedient, and maybe God will tell you, hey, you need to fast, or maybe God will tell you need to call him. Maybe God will tell you just write a note, whatever Jesus asks you to do, that's what you need to do, and it's gonna look different every time. It's going to look different every time. And that's the best advice I give you, because that's really what it is, because there's no cookie cutter. Man, listen. I wish people were cookie cutter. Yeah. I wish A plus B we got to see every time. That'd be so formulaic. I'm in. But I said it yesterday. That inside this broken humanity, which is all of us, inside this broken humanity, if we don't keep the proper perspective that we're the prodigal, we're going to screw it all up. We are. Because it's keeping that perspective, like you're trash without Jesus. Like there's nothing good in you. I realize that about myself. Like left up to my own, I agree with the great Chuck Swindoll. Lord, lead me not into temptation. I can get there. Like I screw myself up, but because of what Christ has done for me, I have the sustainability power, right? So I keep myself in that proper perspective. Like, nah, man, you just need to love on people. You just need to be there for people, because when I said that at the end yesterday, like I've spent far too long trying to impress people who were never going to stick around than trying to be loyal and loving to people who were always in it to win it with me. And I told the story. I told that story about us in Bakersfield for the live stream on purpose. I told that on purpose. Like I had to come back and repent and say, listen, I need you guys to get the best of me. And you guys have been getting the worst of me, because I've been giving everybody who was leaving the best of me, and they were draining my energy. And that way you guys were getting the worst of me, and that's not fair. And I told people that from the pulpit. I had no shame. Like, hey, listen, this is who I am. And here's why. Because people always get this inflated opinion of me. And I know that because they'll come up. I had 3 people stop me yesterday. I finally get to meet you, which that doesn't rub me the wrong way. I get what they're saying. But I also need people to know that I'm human. Like I say this every week, I really don't think that highly of myself. Like one person's like, the man, the myth, the legend. I go, and yet here I am. Like I'm just right here at the booth selling T-shirts and burritos. Like does that make sense? But they see that, and I get it, because there's a lot of preachers out there that have this mega personality of like, I hang out with stars. I don't. I hang out with people. I love people. That's me. And so that's why I tell people, like, no, listen, I'm just as human as you. I spent years being kind to people who are strangers, and the people who lived in my own house got a rude Anthony, and I'm done with that. But that's my broken humanity. This is all of us, right? And so that's why I'm like, listen, I get it, but we can change. We could choose to change now. We could choose to give the people who are loyal to the soil our best patience, our long suffering, our mercies, our grace, right? They get the very best of us because they're all in. And that's what we need to do as people, right? Does that make sense? And that's why I'm trying to encourage everybody else. Hey, that person who's been with you, give them your best. And that's why I showed that I shared that Dr. Huberman stat, like, hey, just send a text, good morning. I hope you're having a great day. Like, it's those little things, right? And I think we said it earlier. I think those little things compound. So when the day comes and someone's ready to cut off relationship, even though it hurts like hell, it hurts. You're able to say, listen, I trust that I've planted enough good seeds that I don't know when they're going to get watered or when they're going to get harvested, but I trust I've done enough that it's somehow going to come back around sooner or later, and I'll hold on to God's promises. I will hold on to God's promises, believing that it will. So I could trust that I did my very best. And here's the other thing. I'll be willing to own any of my mistakes. And I don't think people do that enough. I'll be willing to own any of my shortcomings without hesitation, without reservation. I'll take it on the chin because I know who I am and I know what I've done, but I'm willing to do it. So that's just, you asked the question. That's a little bit that I got. I don't have much more. That was it. That was it. Okay, let's go to close. Oh, what a subject. What a roller coaster of emotions. Can we go back to the John Chris, beat your kid in public? No. That's what he said.
Just Deshaun.
Yeah, just Deshaun. Not you.
Think twice.
Not you. Think twice, Deshaun. Okay, my question, Mike, since we're talking about that, pick one of those things that you feel will help people have better community as far as, let me say, better relational community, whether it's being willing to own your mistake, giving people the best of you, helping people to heal, helping people to process. Pick any one of those things that is going to be a key ingredient for having good community, okay? Because that's what we're in good community, right? And let's just give them a little helpful hint, and then you can pick some, and then I'll pick some. Random as it could be. Just let's help people have good community.
Yesterday I had a conversation with a group of people, and it sort of led to don't let your heart be hardened towards people. Okay. And so one thing I expressed to them is, especially like politics and policies and all that, you can get so caught up in that, you see people different and you're angry at people. If you're on whatever side of Republican or Democrat, now if you find out that person's that other side, you automatically have this shield pop up. You're on one side for immigration. Now you see someone who maybe not have papers. It's automatically you have this built into you just because stuff you heard and watched online. Just because of these policies and procedures and laws. And it's like, don't let those things harden your heart towards the person right before you. Like, we're called to love that person. I'm not saying that we shouldn't care about the laws. I'm not saying we shouldn't care about policies. But our job isn't to care for those things first. Our things are to care for the people that you come eye to eye with, that you can hug, that you can touch, that you can really care for, that you can support, love, who you can give money to. If God leads you to give money to that homeless person, well, look, I don't want to mess it up. We shouldn't do that. There's signs up, don't give to the panhandlers, and it's going to keep them out there. But if you feel like God's telling you to do that, I don't care. Like, forget about all that. Just be obedient to God and keep your heart soft, because I think it's quick and it's easy as you're taking in constant information to harden your heart towards the person right there before you.
So, Mike, go ahead. What you got?
So I'll just go with owning your mistakes. It's important that, especially as men, we're called to lead, and when you are vulnerable and you own your own mistakes, like, people want to follow you. They don't. I think sometimes we have the misconception that we have to be perfect in order for people to follow us, and I think that people are looking for a man of honor, integrity, rather than a man of perfection.
Yeah.
And I think that when we are vulnerable and we just say, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. Like, I messed up," then it gives space for the other person to say, "Man, I'm sorry. I messed up." Yeah. And you can find that common ground of, okay, well, how do we move forward now? But it's hard to move forward when no one ever owns their stuff. And so whether that be at home, I try. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I try to model to my kids. I know that they probably look to me as somebody who's, a larger than life figure, especially because I'm so tall. But I'm sure that they look to me as somebody who I hope they look to me as somebody who they can look up to. Right. But I try to tell them, like, hey, man, like, I'm not perfect, and I'm gonna mess up, and I'm gonna make you cry when I shouldn't have, and I'm gonna yell at you when I probably shouldn't have, and and I'm gonna have my bad days too. And then I hope I've modeled so far that when I do those things, I say sorry. Because I'm also expecting that from them in return.
Yes.
And so I can't expect that from them if I'm not doing it myself. And so that's what I say. My big thing would be just to model humility and say sorry.
Man, both of you guys, so good. What great foundational pieces for a good community. I think it was the early 2000s, quite possibly 02, 03. You guys would have been really young, possibly junior high, maybe even high school. I was definitely out of school. We won't.
Hey,
go
those
there.
are some good years.
Those are some good years.
02, 03.
A song came out, "Where's the Love?" You guys remember that? "Where's the Love?"
Yeah, Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah,
there you go. There you go. Your generation.
I know that was not good music.
Okay. Well, I will say this: that song, that has a great question to it. Where is the love? Where is God's unconditional love for people? I think about that because if you want to have good community, you're going to need the unconditional love. It says in Romans 5:5 that the love of God has been shed abroad into our hearts by the power of the Holy Ghost. We need the love. Love is foundational. Love covers a multitude of sins. Love brings healing to a relationship. Love admits wrongs. Love doesn't duck. It doesn't dodge. It owns responsibility. Love goes the extra mile. Love concerns itself about all things. Love checks in on a friend. Love brings a sick person some soup. Love does a wonder. And I think where community goes bad is we forget about the love. And where is the love? And I think love even looks past the faults. Love looks at the intent of the heart and is able to judge whether or not a person just had a bad day and be willing, like I told somebody that I forgave you the moment it happened. Had a person come and say, Pastor, I got to confess, I was talking bad about you. I said two things to number one, I never knew you were talking bad about me. Number two, I let it go a long time ago because I love you, my friend. I just think if we want to have good community, then we got to have God's love be the foundational piece of what it is. And it's hard. Your feelings get hurt. Your ego gets wounded, right? Your pride takes a kick in the gut. But if we allow God's love to come and to be the bedrock of who we are as people, then we can truly say we left the light on and the door open to a restorative relationship inside the kingdom of God, knowing that I would be quite all right with you as my neighbor in heaven. Mm-hmm. So I say to everybody, where's your love? Where's it at currently? Are you frustrated at your spouse? Are you mad at your kids? Do you hate your job? Are you mad at somebody within the church that they just did you wrong and you can't let it go? Are you harboring bitterness? Do you still have unforgiveness? Is there a root in your heart that Jesus needs to uproot and get rid of? Well, it all starts with you receiving God's love and realizing the Father is holding you in his bosom as the prodigal son has come home. And because he's first loved you, you can love others. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Not a Fitter podcast. Please like and share and spread the good news of this podcast to others. Peace. I'm out.